Can you actually improve your hand-eye coordination through resistance-based training? Probably. We're gonna give you the best exercises that you can use today to improve that hand-eye coordination, and we're gonna start right now. Okay, so what is hand-eye coordination? And are there other mechanisms that you can use to improve hand-eye coordination? Okay, so first off, hand-eye coordination is being able to pick something up with your eyes, okay? And then let's use the great example of cricket or of baseball. If I see an object that I have to make contact with a bat or with anything, with my hands, anything, right? If I see that ball or whatever the object is coming, think it could even be a Frisbee. If I can make the calculations in my brain to put my body in front of that object to make that catch, okay? So specific to hand-eye coordination, we have to be able to make the calculations based off of what's going on in the environment around us. Is there a lot of wind or not? What's the speed at which that ball or Frisbee, whatever the object actually is, football, is coming at us? Can we put ourselves in position to be there to make that specific catch? So the way that we have to do this is just understand what that means, understand body awareness and where we are in space, and then that in reality is going to play the biggest role and to have the biggest impact on hand-eye coordination. Can you optimize body control and understand where your body is in space? Okay, so that first key principle is understanding where your body is, okay? Where your body is in its environment and what that environmental impact actually has on you. That even goes to what are you running on, okay? If I know I'm running on a trail versus running on turf, my body is in a heightened state if I'm on that trail and I have to feel what's going on, okay? That's gonna play a major role in the feedback loop, okay? So if we're trying to improve hand-eye coordination, we have to optimize the feedback loop. So first, we like to use the PVC pipe available at garagestrength.com, and this is an unstable surface, okay? So we can use this to warm up. We can walk forward, we can walk backwards, we can go fast, we can go slow, whatever it is that we want to do. We can talk while we're doing a YouTube video, which can make it even harder, but this is going to improve our body awareness. Now, that second aspect behind this is like, this is a really good warm-up. It's a really great way to get my heart rate going. The second key that you can do, and I stole this directly from Max Schmarzo, is that we can actually have a partner, and I've got absolute beast shot putter Taman Johnson with his flat feet standing on that PVC pipe, and we're gonna play balloon volleyball on a PVC pipe. So this is a really unique way to help your athletes warm up and improve their hand-eye coordination. Let's go, Taman. Ah, you baby! Wow, I suck. I'm terrible. I'm not moving. As you can see, Taman just destroyed me, but the whole goal would be, it's a point that goes for each time you fall off. Taman just destroyed me. Yo, that was bad. And my calves are already swollen. Holy crap. So ironically, this will help with dynamic trunk control. Taman's gonna troll me this entire day now. You've gotta have dynamic trunk control, especially when we're moving our shoulders. The other factor is that we have to have better proprioception. And if you play the game as each time you get off, you come back on, that's a point. You just keep adding them up rapidly. You do this for 10, 12 minutes, you can improve your hand-eye coordination, you warm up really, really effectively, and you have that heightened sense of awareness now that you can take into the rest of your workout. Now, one thing that Max Schmarzo does too is he might even do something where they just play volleyball back and forth, where you might hit here, and then Taman hits it back, and then I've got to run over, and you try and hit that almost at that high point, okay? So this is another easy example. Oh. Yeah. Boo! 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 This is another easy example of increasing your hand-eye coordination, which I need to do when I play that behind the back. But another way to make that interesting is that you can actually call out the way you want to hit between the legs, anything along those lines, and it's going to lead to an improvement in your overall hand-eye coordination, and you're going to have a fun warm-up. Okay, the second group of exercises, because I think we gave you 3 in that first one with PVC walks, PVC pipe volleyball with a balloon, and then volleyball balloon touches basically. So those are 3 exercises. Now, if we're watching a sport like baseball, watch someone like Vlad Guerrero, okay? As a pitcher pulls the ball out of his mitt, right? Vlad's already starting his counter movement, okay? So we wanna really learn stretch shortening cycles. That's gonna help improve our ability to have rapid hand-eye coordination, okay? So we can do things in training that are gonna lead to better counter movement jumps and faster reaction, okay? One of the movements, and I stole this directly from world champion Tom Walsh, okay? Two-time Olympic bronze medalist, Tom Walsh, Commonwealth Games champion, Tom Walsh. I stole this directly from him. Watching him at the World Championships in 2019 in Doha, he was warming up, okay, and he would do jumps with his band, okay, almost exactly like our Power Elastic HAF band, available at garagestrength.com. And what we can do is put this around your shoe, okay, here, put this up on your neck, and we want to be as explosive as possible. That was a little bit cumbersome there. As explosive as possible. Land, react, land, react, land, react. Now my counter movements are weak. Now, this is what Tom was doing after he did those explosive jumps. He and his coach would come together with like a lacrosse ball or something like a tennis ball here, okay? It's a lacrosse ball. And you could start to play around with it. Try to focus on your non-dominant hand. For me, it's my left hand. Now, if you have a partner, you can just set up a makeshift court, tapping it back and forth, right hand, left hand. If you don't have a partner, you can use a wall. So we'll use the garage door here, over, tap, try not to hit too many different things, but you can use the wall, you can use a partner, and you can go back and forth. Let's say you play the game, use bounces, you maybe do 5 on each side, 5 on the left, 5 on the right, then you go back to those counter movement jumps. This can be a warm-up, or it can be something that you do almost as a cool down at the end of your training program to just focus on your hand-eye coordination when you're fatigued, okay? If I'm a football player and it's the 4th quarter and I've got to make a catch while I'm under a lot of stress and I'm very, very fatigued, my hand-eye coordination will start to diminish, okay? My ability to be aware of what's going on goes down because I'm so fatigued. So if we can actually do things like this at the end of a workout and at the beginning of a workout, it can really help our overall proprioception. Okay, now the next one is going to be something where we want to focus on rotational speed, okay? Rotational speed strength and hand-eye coordination. So you could have a partner throw you this med ball here, and I'm going to show you with side med balls, or you can do this yourself against the wall. So Big T Spice is busy writing programs. In an ideal world, he would throw me that med ball, I'd catch it, come through and hit it. Now, one thing that we can do this where we're just focusing on our own hand-eye coordination is throw and try to reload right away. So that's gonna increase our speed, but it's also going to lead to better hand-eye coordination as we catch and lead into that stretch shortening cycle. So even just using something like side medicine ball throws can improve that hand-eye coordination over a long period of time. Okay, so now another aside that you can use with hand-eye coordination improvement. This is gonna be a direct story about Nicholas Singleton, 2022 Big Ten Rookie of the Year, one of the best running backs in the country. Something that he did was very, very simple. He used to lift, and when he was lifting inside of his garage during COVID or even here at our garage, one thing that he would do is just throw himself a football in between sets. He might be playing around with the football, throwing it. He used to throw it into the wall to see if he could bounce it back at a certain angle, skip it off the floor, bounce it back off the wall at a certain angle. I think that this is actually very, very feasible, but you need to make sure that kids aren't clowning around, that they're not going crazy, that it doesn't become a total distraction. So they've got to be mature, but it's another very unique method that you can use to improve your hand-eye coordination and your strength. Okay, so that final awesome way to increase your hand-eye coordination, and what we're talking about here, this isn't going to be directly related to hand-eye coordination, but it's going to be related to your perception and what you see around you and how you're actually operating in your environment. So this is going to be a trick that you can use for football players. It's also a phenomenal trick that you can use for swimmers. I want to see a visual stimulation, okay, some form of visual stimulation that leads to an execution of a rep. I prefer to use something like a technical coordination exercise that has to be done at high speeds with good technique, because it's going to then mimic what you're doing in the actual sport that you're involved in. Now, if I'm a football player or a football coach, I'm gonna have my linemen or my wide receivers, whoever, line up here, and DJ, the absolute beast, got his Jalen Hurts season hat on, is going to do a clean based off of when I would snap the ball. In this case, a bowling pin, not an actual ball. So DJ will sit here, maybe we use some cadence, and then we can go move. Okay, so that's a nice way to play around with this, improving your hand-eye coordination based off of what you're perceiving, and then you have to execute something quickly. Oh no, the hat came off. Okay, so we'll go one more, and then I'm gonna give you another little tip that you can use that's a little bit different. Good. So this is gonna be absolutely incredible for if wrestlers are at the start here and they wanna take that really quick first shot. If you've got linemen, wide receivers, anybody, quick first step. Okay, now you're going based off the ball. You learn how to gauge everything off of that ball movement. If we have somebody like swimmers, I would actually recommend using a flash. Okay, so if you can start to use a flash, that can also lead to that proprioception improvement based off of that flash comes in, and if it's even out of the corner of your eye here, now you're going to execute that movement at high speeds. It's going to require a lot of coordination, and you're going to have to prepare for that stimulation to come in so that feedback loop gets optimized. And those are all the different ways that you can use to improve your overall hand-eye coordination. If you guys need help with training, head over to peakstrength.app, the Apple iOS store or the Google Play Store, where you can get 7 free days of training on our sweet app, Peak Strength. Until next time, guys, if you want to become a champion, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.